Good morning. This is a tutorial on how to use Immersive Reader in Office 365. So we're just going to start from the very beginning to see how to get in there. So Immersive Reader is only available on the online version of Office 365. So you will not be able to use the app that's installed on your computer. You have to actually go to the online version and log in. I'm already logged in here, but if you needed to log in, you can come up to this icon and change accounts or log in. So from here, we have all of the Microsoft apps, and we're going to choose Word. And we're going to, you can start a new document and add text to it, but we're going to open a document that's already saved. And I have my recent documents here. This one is called Immersive Reader Example that I'm going to use. You could also open an older document here by opening it from your OneDrive. So most of these documents are saved in OneDrive. So I'm going to open the Immersive Reader example. And for this example, I'm using a second grade reading level poem called Animals, and I took this from a free printable worksheet website, and I want to give credit to the poem that I'm using. So this poem is written by Sue Peterson. So I'm using a second grade level because I'm very familiar with that curriculum, and I believe Immersive Reader is really beneficial for students of this age. So here's the text on the page. We can see that it's center aligned, and we have the title underlined. It's in a Calibri font size 12. But if I want to use Immersive Reader, I would use this for a student who struggles with reading, maybe an EL student or a student with learning disabilities that just needs extra support. So to access Immersive Reader, we're going to click on View, select Immersive Reader, and you'll see that it takes you to this new screen. The text is all still here, however, the formatting has all disappeared. So none of the words are underlined. It's in a very simple text, and I'll actually look and show you the exact name of the font in a second. But there are more spaces in between the letters to kind of differentiate each letter a little easier. And the center alignment has also been taken away so that there's just less distractions. The student can focus solely on the words on the screen. So the first, I guess the simplest task here is to press the play button and see what happens on the screen.
Animals. Animals live in many places, in water, grass, and trees.
There are settings here that you can adjust for the voice. You can slow the voice down, so if a student really needs that extra time, that extra support, we can have a slower speed here. You can also change the voice from female to male. So I'm going to keep it on female for now, but I am going to slow it down so we can see how that sounds. I'm going to play it again.
Some hop, some jump, some climb, while others run with ease.
We can adjust the size of the text. We can make it a little bigger. We can make it a little smaller. I'm going to put this right back here where it was. We have increased spacing toggled on, and that is what we see with the space between the letters. But if we turn it off, we can see that it takes that away, and it's just written normally again. I'm going to turn it back on. The different font styles we have 3 different kinds. Comic Sans I really like for younger grades, especially kindergarten and first grade when students are just learning how to write their letters. Comic Sans, for example, writes the letter A the way a kindergarten student would learn to write the letter A, whereas in Calibri you can see that this is not the traditional way to write that letter A. So if you have a student in those younger grades, K through 2nd grade, Comic Sans is probably the best choice because it is most aligned with how they've learned to write and recognize letters. The themes here, there are different themes that you can choose for different purposes. So right now we have it on a light theme. But we also have a dark theme, and this is really good for students who prefer that contrast of black with the white letters on top. Sometimes this bright white is overwhelming for students who have sensitivity issues. We also have the sepia theme, and we have a few of these soft color themes too, so students can kind of choose the theme that they would like to read. Kind of makes it a little bit more engaging. I'm going to put it back on the light theme and choose the fewer colors. We also have grammar options, so we can turn syllables on, and what this does, if you can probably guess, is it turns each word into the different syllables. So you can see that the word while is just one syllable, but the word others is two, and the syllables are separated by these little dots. So students who are really struggling to read, when they decode these words, they can see that others has two syllables. Same with animals. As they're reading, they can separate the word by syllables. This is a pretty neat option here, the parts of speech. So if you turned on each one of these individually, it would change all of the nouns to purple. So this tells the reader as they're reading that all of these purple words are nouns. You could do the same with verbs, and it's a reddish-orangish color here. These are all verbs. Adjectives, if you turned that on, would turn into this dark green. Adverbs are this orange color, and I'm going to scroll down to see if we can find one. Here we go. And this is kind of cool because it has that orange color to it, so students know that an adverb supports those verbs because they both have that similar orangish tone. Show labels. This also has the noun, verb, and adjective labels on them. So not only are they color-coded, but they also have the labels here for students. So I'm just going to toggle these back off for now. And then lastly, I'm going to show you the reading preferences. And in the reading preferences, we have the line focus. So if we turn line focus on, it focuses the reading to one line at a time for this option here. So students are not distracted by the other lines. You can also display 3 lines at a time. I don't know why it's not letting me click on other ones, but anyway, you can scroll down, and when you're ready to read the next line, you just use your mouse to scroll down, and it just kind of separates the lines into one. The picture dictionary that I have on, I'm going to turn line focus off. Picture dictionary is a pretty cool tool that you can use for your EL students or any struggling reader, really. So if you click on a word, as long as you have picture dictionary toggled on, it'll give you a picture example of what that word means. What's another one? Places here, grass, water. So this is really helpful for a student who's learning English or just a struggling student who's not recognizing a word. And lastly, we do have a translate option. So this will translate a word to any language that's in this list. And they're pretty much all on here. So let's choose Spanish. Let's choose Spanish here. So if you can have by word toggled on or the entire document toggled on, and it'll translate the entire document. So here's the whole document translated to Spanish. We can turn this off and turn it on to just words only, and then we can click on a word and it will give us the picture definition plus the Spanish translation. So I'm going to go back to reading preferences and show you that that was the last option. So this feature is really beneficial for students in the lower grades that are just learning that phonemic awareness and recognizing letters and syllables. It's also really beneficial for English learners who are still learning the language and for struggling readers of any level who just really need that extra support. This immersive reader is a great tool. You can easily just copy and paste like I did. I took a passage here that I found online and I just copied the text and put it into a Word document so that we can use Immersive Reader. And that concludes this tutorial. I hope you found it very informative.